Welcome everyone. Today we're going to do a very quick video on the difference between two popular ETFs, VSP and VFV. Now these funds are very similar with one main difference. One of them is hedged to the Canadian dollar, and that happens to be VSP. If you don't know what that means, I'm going to explain it shortly, but just know that these ETFs are essentially the exact same. They both hold the S&P 500 companies in Canadian dollars. The MER is the exact same for both these ETFs at 0.09, which is extremely reasonable, and this draws a lot of investors to invest in the Vanguard version of the S&P 500. The difference is the yield though, okay? So VSP, the hedged Canadian version, has a yield of 1.09, whereas the VFV, the unhedged version of the S&P 500, has a slightly smaller yield at 1.04. Now, to be honest with you, these decimal points shouldn't really make a difference to you. It's just I'm identifying the minute differences. Now, the major difference is the hedging. VFV is unhedged, meaning that if you believe the American dollar to climb in value against the Canadian dollar, VFV will be the beneficiary, and you should invest in this ETF product. So you need to look at the Canadian to US dollar spread at your time of investment, and you need to decide, well, currently the Canadian dollar is at around 71 cents. If you believe the Canadian dollar to continue its descent lower against the American dollar, you will do even better in VFV than you would in the other ETF that is hedged, VSP. I just want to illustrate this difference over a significant period of time so we can see how these ETFs with the same holdings have fared against one another. So if we take a look here at VSP, the hedged version of the S&P 500 over a one-year term, we can see that it's increased in value 29.2%. So let's take a look at VFV and compare. VFV over the same one-year time period has gained 34.1%. So there's a differential of around 5%. You have to ask yourself, is this significant? I would say that it is, but we need to look at a longer period of time as well. Let's take a look at the 5-year. Okay, 5-year for the VFV, we're up exactly 100.3% versus the same 5-year time period on VSP, it's only up 70.7%. Now, this is a fairly significant difference. We're talking about a 30% differential, and these two ETFs hold the exact same underlying companies. Yet again, only difference is the hedged dollar. Now, you need to look at how the Canadian versus US dollar did in this period of time, and you'll see it's a similar looking chart. So, you know, if I were to answer someone's question on whether they should invest in the hedged or unhedged version, to be honest with you, I would always take VFV, the unhedged. There's going to be periods of time where one of these ETFs will outperform the other, but it's of my opinion that VFV will do better in the long term because I do believe in the American economy. I do believe in the American dollar, and it should increase in value over time. Over short periods of time, though, either one could outperform the other. I hope this video helped you decide between VFV and VSP. I know there's a lot of acronyms being thrown around in this video, but either way, these are great investments for Canadian investors, and you're going to do absolutely great over the long term if you invest in either one of these. Whichever one you choose, let me know. Let me know if there's any big VSP people out there who are screaming that this is the one for the future. I'm in the other camp, VFV all the way, but both investments are great, and happy investing, guys. I wish you good returns.